We back. What it is, people. Back again, back again. Hey, I'm running. I ain't been doing too many lives lately, man. It's been crazy. Might have to end up cutting this one short today, but hollering at people. Uh, been having a lot of stuff going on, a lot of business moves, got a little opportunities breaking in. What's going on, Jazzy? Jazzy in the building. Jazzy, been looking at my channel recently. I had a little, um, I shared a video, then I put the link in for the guy that actually on Instagram that makes like the body cream, the deodorants and stuff like that. So check that video out. And, I'm always sharing the videos about ride shares, making money. Bud Files, what's going on with you? Yeah. So just different little opportunities making money, man. You know, Uh, 9 to 5, cool. But what you gonna do after your 5 to 9? You know, I'm just gonna do your 8 hours and go home, or you gonna go get off and do some DoorDash or whatever, to make some money. 'Cause I mean, I understand like a lot of these jobs don't appreciate good workers to the point where you know that's like, for instance, a job I deal with. I think probably about half of the guys there gonna quit. Um, like a mass exit. I think they say they're gonna do it next year. And they're trying to get me to stay here until the end so they can have a big number. But and it is what it is. But for the most part, yeah, Mills, what's going on with you? Yeah, I had a candle maker. I ended up giving it to one of my brother's friends. She actually gonna be making candles. I bought it for my boys to do. Something for them to sell to the teachers and stuff at school for like holidays and stuff. But they wasn't into it. One of them, he's in the gaming. The other one's in the like fashion. And I mean, crazy part, he in the fashion. We got this clothing line. He ain't even really invested in that. So I told him, I was like, man, you just saying stuff. You're not really acting on what you talking about you want to do. Cool gamer on the spot. What's going on with you? Yeah, because if you check my Instagram out, you see I do a lot of posting on the follow the money clothes. And a lot of that stuff, I look at it as more or less promotional items. NC worker was going on. Everybody hit that like button on the way in. But for the most part, I look at a lot of clothes he got as promotional items because they run pretty much small. I think this fall is when we're really gonna kick off a lot of the clothes and everything. Um, Trying to get these drones together, man. Start doing car shows and different events using drones. Cause I mean, there's big money in that, man. Uh, One of my brothers dealing with this security thing where he's starting his own security firm. And if he do that, I definitely ain't gonna have no time for no 9 to 5 because I'm gonna be working that pretty much a lot. So I don't know. I don't even know why I'm still at this job. I should have been quit this job. I'm just, I'm always looking at having money every time I have a job just to fund my business or fund projects that I have going on, you know. And then it's more or less like security. That's why I pretty much do it too. But for the most part, one of my friends, he was telling me I should have been quit and been dealing more because I have a home improvement. So with the home improvement, I do a lot of that. I mean, even my delivery service that I do, I don't even advertise for that. I get about at least, I slow down with it, but I normally get about two to three deliveries a weekend, you know, and that's $75 a drop, unless it's something big or I'm moving apartments. I stepped away from doing all the house stuff because that's a lot of work. And then the customers be complaining about the price, but then I'm like, I just cut fine. I tell them call two man in truck. I'm done. And nah, negotiate. I'm good with your price. I'm good. So, I mean, apartments and stuff, they pretty much easy. Most of the time, people that have apartments don't have a lot. You know, I mean, if you want something for nothing, that's why I tell majority of them just get your family to do it because it's cheap if you get your family to come in and do it versus like what I do. So, you know, take care of your stuff. I mean, that's the thing. A lot of people want the stuff cheap. I mean, I understand the way the economy is, but hey, inflation is ruling over pretty much a lot of people in their business. And for the companies that do have money, they greedy. I mean, look at Home Depot, look at Lowe's. Home Depot and Lowe's, I think they lost like 40% of their revenue this year alone, and they're complaining about customers aren't shopping. You know, a lot of these companies are like that. Look at McDonald's. They're talking about going back to the dollar menu because ever since they went up on their prices, they're skimping. First of all, they're skimping on the portions, and then they went up on the prices. Chipotle, the same thing. Man, Chipotle took the biggest dive of all restaurants. If Chipotle don't bounce back, Chipotle is actually gonna close their business. Like that one scoop thing now, and I don't know if they changed the spoon or what, but it's horrible. I don't even eat Chipotle. I think I ate Chipotle probably four times in my life. I just didn't see the big deal about it. I mean, Willie's is pretty good. Um, I used to like Moe's Southwest Grill. Then they wasn't having a lot of fresh food, so I stopped dealing with them. But a lot of these restaurants, a lot of these businesses are going under because, for one, they don't provide a good service. For two, I never understand a company that doesn't take care of their employees. If your employees quit, especially the good ones, you cease to exist. So, when it comes down to it, it's just crazy, man. You know, Frugal Mama. Oh, got a call. Hold on, real quick. Yep, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Yeah, but like I say, with a lot of these companies, man, they don't want to take their care of their employees. I know in my old job, they used to do like driver appreciation and stuff. They did driver appreciation week where they you know, made sure our uniforms were up good. I mean, it helps them too. And then they would give out like little bonuses for safety, safe drivers, revenue, low claims, all that stuff. I mean, it keeps the morale of the company, and plus, the bad drivers try to typically do good to get money. Because I mean, you got a $500 bonus, and some of them up to 1,000. I know one year we had got me and my driver, we got what was it? I think it was like 5 or 6,000. And he split it because mainly he the driver and I was the helper when we was moving. So we split it. It was like a 60-40 split or whatever, you know. And I was still appreciative. And it was always said that, when it comes down to the drivers, that the drivers are better than the helpers. I used to move furniture. But, there was this older guy. He spoke up for a lot of the young guys and, the older guys as well. He was like, well, give me a dozen good helpers and I'll give you a dozen dimes. Because you always say a good guy come a dime a dozen. There's not that many good guys out here that can do the job. There's people that can do the job, then there's people that can, actually get the job done well. The truck driving industry, they say anybody can drive a truck, but who can actually drive a truck safely, perform the task at hand with doing the job, and don't have issues. So, you know, this newer generation, they work a job. Like prime example, I'm gonna get back. They had a guy who was I got my truck towed. A lot of people call me, tell them I call them that. I had my truck towed um 2 weeks ago from my job. Simple thing, run out of gas, and we were having a conversation at my job. So he's telling me, well, you worked at my company for 5 years. You should know by now. Anytime my trucks go under half a tank, put more gas in it. I'm like, realistically, that's not how it's supposed to go. So I'm telling him, you spent $1,000 on that truck because the floater messed up. Floater from a mechanic putting on might cost him less than $500. I would even say upwards of $200, if anything. You know, in-house mechanic, do it itself. Hell, I can do it. I changed the floater on my pickup a truck before. It wasn't hard. Actually, ended up just changing the whole pump. But the thing of it was, like, versus you fixing something that knowing this, minor thing that won't be a big problem later. That's how companies do. They cut corners as much as possible to save, but then they pay big in the long run. So yeah, but yeah, Chipotle's, man, that stuff is bad. The portions are bad. I mean, all these restaurants. My wife went to Arby's to get the brisket sandwich. She told me she'll never go back. Arby's used to have one of a decent brisket sandwich from a chain restaurant. Cause I typically just bail out and go to Sonny's now and get me a brisket sandwich if I'm gonna do that, or a brisket meal. You know, and like I said, from a chain restaurant, Arby's used to be one of the pretty much decent um, places to get a brisket sandwich. But now, I mean, you talking about crazy. I mean, you got to understand a lot of the portions at these companies, they think that by cutting the portions, they can, increase more profits. But if no one's buying, then you're losing. I mean, that's the biggest thing with America. It's always getting the more bang for their buck. But a lot of these companies are not understanding, like, you saving money is putting you in the hole. Like, I never understand that now. Like, me saving this much money over here is risking me losing this much money over here. Cynical, what's going on? I mean, it don't make sense, you know. And a lot of companies are just forfeiting business, even employees. There's one guy, he worked for all the top-notch cologne companies, and all he's doing is going to every company, selling their secrets to the other company and rebranding the name. And he's making millions of doing this. But it's not like he's, selling company secrets, because he add a little twist to it. He might make the scent a little stronger, make the scent a little weaker on companies. Might add a little spin on a different smell that doesn't have a big turnout, but at the same time, it's distinctive. You can tell. Most people who are very much into colognes and perfumes, they know off the rip as soon as they smell those smells. But like I said, just in general, a lot of these companies, they taking a big loss. I'm talking about a big loss, because when it comes down to it, profits over everything. And now it tends to be the case where a lot of companies are losing out trying to gain those big profits. I mean, you got big companies, like I said, like Coke. The revenue on Coke has went down. You know, Um, I think his name Woody Harris, not Woody Harris. Yeah, Woody Harris. He was basically saying we're getting all this poison that we're buying from these restaurants and stuff, and we're paying for it. If we stop paying for the poison, they'll change it. Because don't you know, ketchup has all these ingredients, but the crazy part is they literally have ketchup. Was it Hunt's that makes ketchup for Canada, but only five ingredients: tomatoes, salt, pepper, vinegar. I mean, just why can't they make that here? Why you have to add fructose corn syrup in Americans ones and not over in the Canada products? Because they won't accept it. A lot of countries put harmful labels on American products like Nerds and stuff like that. Go and try to buy candy or cereal overseas. That's why I've gotten to the point where I'm trying to wean one of my sons off of eating cereal because they talking about this Drano cleaner. The same TSP for Drano cleaner is in Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Same thing like with the energy drinks that are out here. I don't even know if it's true about that, so I don't even want to speak on that. But I've seen the cereal, and I've like I do plumbing on the side, and I actually looked at the plumbing for Drano, and there's different things that's in there. The same thing that's in the cereal, and I'm like, is it some type of mistake? They put the same name of stuff in this? No. But this thing is, we eat it because it tastes good. You put enough sugar on something, a season on something, it's gonna taste good. I remember one time my cousin was telling me about that. His wife burnt the barbecue. He went in there, poured a whole bunch of barbecue sauce in a pot, sliced the meat, kind of broke it up a little bit, put it in that barbecue sauce, put some oregano, paprika in there, and the best is the smoked paprika. The smoked paprika gives it that real flame taste, like it's wood. And Tamika was going on. And the crazy part is, everybody was in there eating it like it was a death, like it was so good. Oh, I got a crunchy piece. Oh man, it's nice because you taste so much of the sauce. That's what a lot of companies do for people. They give us the sauce, man. Gotta have the sauce. You know, I mean, it's just crazy. Like dealing with these companies now, they just think a lot of people are stupid. You know, even like with the ratio, with money, there's companies that actually pretty much, if you're not on salary, you're strictly on hourly. You do your 40 hours. Most people who work off commission, companies pretty much have a budget of paying certain people. Certain people, they get you to a budget around 100 up or down. What's going on, Alonzo? And that's how they determine your paycheck, by pretty much putting out a budget that's saying, well, this guy should make this much money, and every week we're gonna make sure he make this much money. Because if you're hourly, you do 80, you do 40 hours a week, you're pretty much the same. What's going on, Bronze? You're pretty much the same with 40 hours, unless you get overtime, and that's up and down, or just consistent overtime. You're gonna pretty much know how much you make. Now, if a company wants to control that budget, they put you on a commission scale. They can control that commission. I mean, prime example, Alonzo always talks about this. He eat what he kills. So if he's not putting his feet to the ground, making moves, making calls, it's kind of hard for the situation to pan out. So people have to get into the process, commit to it and stay with it. As an agent, you're committing to People want to do almost just like real estate agents. Real estate agents have gone taking people out, show them homes, and then in the end, I don't want this, and I'm gonna go with somebody else. So it comes to a point where real estate agent, all that gas, time, and energy with that customer that's well qualified, but end up not dealing with them going with somebody else, it's crazy. Like I said, when it comes to the bulk of all that, dealing with these companies, they try to rationalize, their thoughts for the way they do things, and I don't know. It's just crazy to me, And in the end, they typically lose out. The company I used to work at, to this day, man, like I can easily go back there. I could be making easy money. I mean, upwards to 80 to damn near 100,000 easy. But at the point of that, I won't be home and I won't see my kids as much. That's the only reason I'm staying. You know, I make decent money still, but the point of it is, I can make way more money on the road. Like now, I got a friend. He works out of Tennessee. He wants me to come up there to Tennessee and work 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks up there and 1 week home. All his main contracts are in Tennessee. And I think it was 2 years ago. I was actually about to quit this job and go up there. I mean, because he still calls me to this day. This guy keeps buying trucks, like, because he know I'm a good driver. So in the end, I think I worked with him probably I worked with him at a company. I actually trained him, but then he cut out from that company. Just due to the fact towards the end they were actually closing out, and he had several businesses like me, but he's more or less typically just went full throttle with it and worked the company versus just doing part time here and there. So I think he's on the gym. Was a actual sheriff, was a sheriff in a small town, and just good business relations. That's like with this job. I pretty much can leave this job and find me a job easily the next day. Because like I said, with a good hard worker, easy to find work. But the point of it is, the companies nowadays, man, they don't know how to handle business. I mean, even two of the employees, there's some pushback on the employees doing what they're doing, but it's a give and take situation. Because I ran across some employees, especially at this job, man. They don't care, man. They do whatever. I mean, you have to have some type of, you know, self. I mean, just morals about yourself to where you just not treating just people any kind of way. You know, your character that you put out in the world. I mean, it actually comes back on you. And then it gets to a point where some people are relatively lucky and dodge bullets all these years, and then eventually you go unscathed. But I mean, like they say with karma, it might come back on your kids. Like I say, everybody hit that like button. It's just crazy, man. Like I said, I'm gonna sticking to my same deals, doing my budget. Um, Hopefully, I can get this business license in the next couple of weeks. Get all this stuff established and be on to my next venture. Actually gonna be in up buying me another. I got another SUV on the way, but I'm thinking about buying me a box truck this time and scaling that business with the box truck. Yeah, 'cause I mean the push and shove with the maintenance on the cars and stuff. Things have to be done, but no risk, no reward. So I'm just gonna have to do all that, get that done, and make it happen. I mean, the thing of it is, there's a lot of people sitting on the gold mine, but too scared to step out and get it done. I mean, Money brings comfortability, to me. You have that money, it's okay for you to go out there and try this, and if it fails, oh well, because everything's gonna be taken care of. But to a point where you don't have the money, it gets kind of rough, and that's the thing that most people, deal with is not having no backing. No swirl, what's going on with you? No backing is a big part about a lot of that. No backing, because I mean, honestly speaking, how many people, even have family that you can go to that if you need some money, they can truly help. Far and few don't have that much. It's even to a point where most people married can't even go to their spouse because their spouse don't both. They don't have it. You know, and it's like taking out loans right now is just crazy. I mean, the biggest thing that I've been learning more or less, having your business situated to get business funding is through grants and stuff like that, having a business established. And it's crazy because a lot of people don't want to take that step and getting that LLC, registering with the state because they looking at all this extra money I gotta pay. I gotta file taxes on this business. But I'm like, look at the money that you can get for grants and stuff like that. Look at the money that you can get from banks. Banks loan money to business way faster than they loan personally. And I've seen it with my own eyes. I mean, right now I've been trying to get this what's it called, a DRC something loan, debt to credit loan. I mean, it's crazy because they wanted so much paperwork, even though this loan is processed about you actually not using your funds. You're using the funds from the existing property that you're trying to get to pay for the house. And this is the way you're doing it without using your pretty much your credit going off your money. You're just going off the money of the house. So, like I said, I've been doing a lot of research. That's the biggest thing where a lot of people are not doing. Getting out here doing researches on this business, and they just think they're just gonna get funding. They're gonna get all this money. I mean, you got to put in the work, and that's why I don't see where a lot of people doing, man. Putting in the work, trying to get the money. They just out here like, man, whatever, whatever. Like you actually got to be putting in the work to get that money. But I'm gonna get off of here, man. I've been hooking on talking about a lot of stuff. Oh man, those were those fences. That's like 10 times the money. Build a fence. I'm talking about even like with home improvement, doing those access walls. I mean, all you need is a nail gun, some old pallets that you can get for free from warehouses and stuff. Take them, put little rustic looking walls in the houses. Just a lot of small home improvement stuff that people could do, like them big old pergolas. Man, you know how much money you can get for a pergola to build a pergola? You looking at 1,200, some 800, and the materials cost you about less than $500 for them. And a lot of those people, man, what they do is they get those pergola fittings that go over the 2x4s. I mean the 4x4s or the 6x6s, and I'm talking about easy. It's another company, man, like doing little small projects. Like I'm finna get into this resin. I'm finna be making a lot of stuff with resin. Easy money, man. Like I've been telling my wife for the longest, a lot of these little side projects and hobbies I be doing, I'm gonna just start doing that, making more money, because I have a lot of tools, man. Like my wife always complain about how much tools and stuff I got in the garage. I'm talking about easy money. That's like with roadside. I was telling my wife, me and my brother was gonna do this roadside thing, but it kind of fell through when we didn't get the warehouse he want. I mean the office he wanted off of this busy intersection. And we was trying to get that last year. Nope, actually it was this year. Beginning of this year, going into the summer. It was April, May, April, I think, March or April. Yep, and it kind of fell through because it was too much red tape. I mean, honestly, the lady was my brother ego. He was rushing trying to get the money to put down on the place, and I told him take his time and just go through the process with the bank. But nah, he went and tried to snatch out um 50,000 at one time out of his bank, and they flagged it as some type of fraud, the check and all that. Then he had to go in and deal with that. And there was a lot of crazy stuff. Yeah, I know that the Duns and Bradstreet. Yep, and sign up with Gov. It's a government thing that you have to sign up with when you first get within the first week of you getting your license. Because when I used to work at the IRS, there was a guy he contracted for the IRS picking up he used to pick up the trash and stuff like that for the IRS, and they used to have like the supplies. They used to donate the supplies, the unused supplies, or sometimes like the old notebooks. They'd take all the stuff out, donate the notebooks and stuff, and they would let him put it up under his company. But yeah, those government contracts, man, they pay pretty good, man. They do it a stretch over a couple of years. That's what I'm actually looking at now, Alonzo, with that mail contract. So they have actual people that drive vans, they're regular minivans, SUVs, and they just big size SUVs, not the small ones. But they just take the mail, drop all on the back seats, the third row to the middle, and stack the little crates of mail and put them in there, and they end up just running the mail in those from post office to post office. So say they got a hot route and it gets to a point where they can't really get a mail truck to do it because you know contracting with the government, they don't got to pay the insurance. A lot of red tape with that, so they don't got to pay insurance because that's like what the one of the jobs I used to do too. They did a lot of owner operators to cut down on their costs for their vehicles, cut down on the cost of the insurance and all that. Put that all on the contractors, and they saved a lot of money. They did what was it 30 30 70 split, 30 the company's way, 70 the owner operators way. And believe it or not, like they were real profitable on that because the amount of turnout that they had, as far as with the drivers, it was phenomenal. It was easy for them to weed out the bad drivers because when you pay good, companies, man, they typically, word gets out, and when word get out, only but the best of the best come out. You know, they made their money on the front and the back end. They cut the 30% up front, and then on the 30% for pickups and deliveries, and they did it on the back end too because depending on how much the revenue they turn over for the contract for the what was it for the Medicare Medicaid and I forgot the other company that they did when I had my non-emergency business. Like they were making good money, so they would make sure they turn out a decent number a week, and they would get bonuses by how many they scheduled. Because otherwise, when those companies couldn't send them to the main company, they had to go send them to an offshoot company, and they would probably get it or they won't get it done. Just like the company I work at now, they have a contract, but then it's like two other companies that have contracts. So, they're in a push to try to see who's the best every year. But at the end of the day, you're fighting with another company. So to stay above being the competing with them, you have to give top-notch quality service. That goes for the customers and your employees. But yeah, I'm about to get ready to jump off of here. Just hit my first stop. Once again, shout out to y'all. You know what I say when I get off of here? We here and we gone. Peace.